Hi, this is Ray, ChubbyRay Comics. I don't buy single issues. I buy trade paperbacks. I buy Omnibus. I love collected editions. I love talking about them, and I hope you enjoy watching my videos. Today, I'm giving you my list of if I can only keep 5 DC finest. So let's get going. I showed you Epic Collection, which is Marvel. Now DC has an equivalent. It's called DC Finest. It's the newest line that DC Comics has put out, and I love it. The DC Finest edition of books are great books in a chronological order starring DC characters on some wild adventures. And if you haven't read a DC Finest, I highly, highly recommend them. And you know it's a Chubby Ray video, so that means I've got to have honorable mention. So let's get started with my honorable mention. Justice League of America, The Return. This is also in an omnibus called Justice League Detroit. But this is a fun book. Justice League Detroit with heroes like Elongated Man, Aquaman. And also in this book are issues of Infinity Inc., which was drawn by Todd McFarlane. One of my favorite all-time artists, Todd McFarlane, started out early in his career on DC doing books like Infinity Inc. Look at the Star-Spangled Kid. Awesome. These are just fun issues that took place from 1985 to 1987. Is Justice League of America honorable mention book for today's category. Next honorable mention. This one's from 2000 to 2002. Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. Cassandra Cain is such a great character. We first saw her in No Man's Land. And this DC Finest, a bunch of great Cassandra Cain stories. I mean, look at that, huh? Cassandra Cain is just a cool character. This not only contains issues of Cassandra Cain's Batgirl series, it also has Batgirl team-ups with Superboy and team-ups with Supergirl. Cassandra Cain, one of the biggest, baddest fighters in DC Comics. This DC Finest is a lot of fun. This takes place from 2000 to 2002. Cassandra Cain, honorable mention. What's next? We go from Batgirl to Batman. Batman Red Skies. This is 1985-1986 Batman. It's Bruce Wayne and Jason Todd as Batman and Robin. And it's really a lot of fun. It's not just Batman and Robin. It features Detective Bullock, tons of guest stars, great villains, some awesome team-ups, and there's really not a lot of Jason Todd in collected editions prior to Death in the Family. We see it in this book. And we see those red skies leading into our next honorable mention book, DC Finest Events, Crisis on Infinite Earths. This 1985 to 1986 DC Finest covers the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now you know the rules, and I can only have one of these event books on my honorable mention, and then I can get one of these books on my list. This has the main Crisis on Infinite Earths miniseries and chronological representation of all the tie-ins. We don't have a Crisis Omnibus, so this is about as close as we get. Come on, it's got Firestorm. It's got Batman, Green Lantern, come on! Infinity Inc. with that Todd McFarlane art. This is just part 1, so you're gonna have to wait for other parts. But I'm telling you, this book is great. Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's the DC Finest Events honorable mention. Now let's get to the main list. If I can only keep 5 DC Finest. Number 5, Team-Ups. From 1978 and 1979, this book is just filled with a bunch of cool team-up stories. You've got Batman and Black Canary. How about Batman and Aquaman? How about Batman and the Creeper? How about Superman and the Flash? Which also contains my favorites, the Legion of Superheroes. These are the stories from DC Comics Presents and Brave of the Bold. These are those team-up stories, sometimes wacky and irreverent, but always fun. This is a lot of Bronze Age goodness, with great team-ups and great heroes. Plus, where are you gonna see Superman team with Sergeant Rock? Come on. It's a lot of fun, and it's Bronze Age goodness. It's team-ups, DC Finest, number 5. Number 4, I love this book. This is a Legion of Superheroes. This goes from 1968 to 1974, and it is Bronze Age goodness featuring my favorite heroes, the Legion of Superheroes. Look at that awesome group of heroes. This starts with those late 60s sort of goofy stories, and then eventually gets into great stories from the 70s, like, come on, Karate Kid fighting Validus? Mon-El fighting Validus. This is awesome Dave Cockrum art. There's my boy Wildfire. This also contains the first issue I ever got of the Legion of Superheroes. I traded my Micronauts #1 to my friend Jeff, who gave me this book, and I've been hooked ever since. An amazing story where one of these heroes doesn't make it. The villain, of course, Validus. This is my first Legion of Superheroes comics, and it's one of the saddest comics I ever read. All in this DC Finest, which I cannot recommend any higher than I do. This is a fantastic DC Finest, and everyone should get it. Legion of Superheroes, number 4. Number 3. Teen Titans Judas Contract. This is 1983, 1984, and it is the Nightwing-led Teen Titans. These are the Marv Wolfman, George Perez stories that really changed comics. These were the issues that started getting sold in comic book stores instead of off the racks at dime stores. The Titans were awesome. The Titans, of course, were led by Dick Grayson before he became Nightwing. This whole book leads up to the Judas Contract, guest starring Deathstroke. The Judas Contract was a story where Dick Grayson became Nightwing. It's an all-time classic and a must-read. DC Finest Teen Titans Judas Contract is a must-buy, and it's number 3 on my list. Number 2, I'm warning you in advance, this might be cheating. It's Events 0 Hour, Crisis in Time, Part 1 and Part 2. I could have just picked one and put the other one in honorable mention, but I figured, let's pick 2 because it is a continuing story. And how could I pick just one? It's great. These stories took place in 1994 and it changed everything for DC Comics. These DC Finest books contain a chronologically ordered series of great stories from great comics. So many great issues. And a lot of the issues count down to 0, where there's nothing but whiteness. The 0 Hour story was fantastic. It contained all of the 0 Hour miniseries and the individual books from so many other heroes. And they're really interesting. Like the Green Arrow story had no dialogue. The whole story, no dialogue. But it has Green Arrow stuck in time fighting another Green Arrow. There are so many cool elements that happen in these books. 0 Hour, Crisis in Time, Part 1 and 2. DC Finest. Get this, and trust me, you will enjoy it. This is a fantastic story. DC craziness from the 90s. These are books that every DC fan should read. 0 Hour is great. It was right after Superman returned. It was right after Batman came back from a broken back. And then they gave us this Crisis in Time. This is a memorable book. Everybody should get it. DC Finest. Number 2 on my list. And number 1 on my list for DC Finest, Batman Year 1 and 2. This is from 1986 and 1987. And this contains the Frank Miller Batman Year 1 story. And at the end of the book, it gives you Batman Year 2. And this is also early Todd McFarlane art. The type of art we'd eventually see in Spider-Man, Spawn, and so many more great books. Batman Year 2 is an underrated masterpiece. And this is number 1 on my DC Finest list. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. It's Batman Year 1 and Year 2. It's DC Finest, number 1 on my If I Could Only Keep 5 DC Finest books. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying these lists. I'm enjoying making them. So far, I've given you, if I could only keep 5 omnibuses Marvel, if I could only keep 5 omnibuses DC, if I could only keep 5 Epic Collections, and now, if I could only keep 5 DC Finest. Coming up, I've got if I could only keep 5 Absolute Editions, if I could only keep 5 Compendiums, if I could only keep 5 Independent Collected Editions, if I could only keep 5 comic book writers, and if I can only keep 5 comic book artists. I can do these forever. I'm loving this series. I hope you guys are loving the videos. Please like, follow, comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe you saw some books or you didn't see some books that you thought should be or shouldn't be on the list. Let me know in comments. That's why they're here. I'm ChubbyRay. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.